Rosny Peasant here, and welcome to another video. And today, I'm going to be talking about the classic anime that's been going on right now, and it's been around since like 2000, since the very beginning of 2015, and now it's come to the conclusion that what everyone's been waiting for, and that is the English dub of One Punch Man. Saitama himself for episode 1 and 2. Now, obviously, I'm reviewing both episode 1 and 2. If you haven't seen episode 1 and 2, 2 has just been released. I believe it's on a Sunday. It's like Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super will be on air and also subbed on Sunday. So obviously I will be doing Dragon Ball Super episode reviews. Obviously, when episode 53 comes out, I'll review that, and I will actually start doing more Dragon Ball Super talk and debates, etc., along with WWE, etc. But anyway, apart from all that, let's get to the topic here of One Punch Man. Now, at the moment, One Punch Man is my favorite anime right now. One Punch Man is, like, before I get onto the episode 1, but like, let me explain to you why I love One Punch Man so much. Now, the reason why I love One Punch Man is because he's not a, what's the word? He's not a stereotypical superhero. He's not a Goku. He's not Superman. He's not, he's not just like that stereotypical superhero that is going around just saving the world just because he does it for justice. No, Saitama is a human being who wants to be a hero because why? As Christopher Sabat would say, and as I will get to more information about Christopher Sabat, it's going to be more like just a guy is a hero for fun. Like, seriously, it's just he does it for fun. And that's what makes this guy so interesting, is because, like, I mean, there's only 12 episodes, including the 6 other special episodes, which is like, for example, like special episode 1 is in between 1 and 2. So, like, when Genos meets up with Master Saitama, as they would like to call him, or Zenze, whatever the hell, like, obviously you see what Genos does before he goes off meeting up with Saitama. But apart from all that, let's get down to episode 1 of One Punch Man. Obviously, we all know what happens in this situation. We see, I think, Vaccine, his name, who is voiced by Christopher Sabat, the man known as Vegeta, Yamcha, and all those sort of characters from Dragon Ball. He plays a lot of characters in Dragon Ball, and he also does a lot of anime. I can't really name you all the animes he does, but Dragon Ball is obviously the most famous one he does, and everything like that. He performed the Vaccine guy because obviously it looks like Piccolo, which is also voiced by Christopher Sabat himself. And obviously Vaccine's talking shit, and the introduction of the English dub version of Saitama, which also, by the way, is fucking awesome. I love the English dub of Saitama. It suits him. It really does. But I will get to the comparison between the Japanese version and the English version at the end of this video. Right. Apart from all that, you see, obviously, Saitama giving the one punch to Vaccine, ending in one punch completely. And obviously, Saitama getting pissed off of himself because obviously it only took one punch. No pun intended. As we move on, really, the plot line of this entire story is about why is Saitama feeling the way he is? Why is it that he is depressed? Well, not necessarily depressed, but why is he bored? Like, why is it that he has all this power and yet he still doesn't find it any fun or interesting? Like obviously when that massive Titan wannabe sort of thing comes out, or the world's strongest man comes around, and his brother getting killed and everything. That was fucking hilarious. He's like, brother, no! That bollocks. And Saitama is like, put some pants on, man. Like, it's funny. It's just a funny, stereotypical, like, non-stereotypical superhero. And Saitama obviously beats him with one punch. And before he died, Saitama, like, he said, like, I killed my brother, and now I feel empty. And then Saitama just goes, no, you know the feeling, right? And goes up and punches him. And he goes, having overwhelming strength is pretty boring, actually. Now, I actually kind of agree with that, considering the fact that you obviously wouldn't find anything interesting if you don't have anyone strong to fight to. or just to fight for, or whatever the hell. Because obviously Saitama fights to be a hero because he wants to, not because he does it for anyone else. So that's all we know about his character at the moment. But to be honest, he says it perfectly clear in the first episode. Anyway, let's get on to the origins of One Punch Man in the first episode. When you see Saitama with a suit on and obviously with hair, this is 3 years in the past, the 3 years before Saitama became One Punch Man and the man we all know him as today. There's a point when he meets up with some massive crab man. I can't remember his name, but his name's Crab Man. And the English dub version made me laugh a lot more than the Japanese, but it was still fucking hilarious. And obviously, he was looking for that double chin, that double double balls face of that kid, and obviously trying to go off and kill him. And obviously, Saitama is like, "Fuck this! I'm going to be a hero because that's what I wanted to be since I was a 5-year-old." And then obviously saves the child in the process. Pulls the eye out of the crab, kills the crab, and then obviously becomes a hero. And then he explains about why he's so bored and everything like that, and why he wants, he wants to get a kick out of it because that's what he wants, and everything like that. And coming up to the end of that episode, he has a dream. He has, or a nightmare. Well, really, it's more of a dream. I can't remember what they're called, but like, let's just say this: they're called like Septurians, something like that, or they're known as their Earthlings, or whatever the hell, because obviously they invaded Earth and they completely annihilated 70% of the Earth's population. And now that's obviously something massive, you know what I mean? That's just like holy shit. But apart from all that, Saitama's like, oh my god, I've never actually this is amazing, because I mean I've never met such a worthy opponent. So it's been such a long time, and during the fight, obviously, in my opinion, still to this day, is probably the best fight scene in the entire series. I mean, a lot of people are like, "Fucking hell, Saitama versus Boris," or it's fucking amazing, or the Deep Sea King. I'm like, fuck all that shit. Yeah, I did love Boris's fight with Saitama, but that's nothing to do with this episode. This fight with the Septarians or their Earthlings was the best fight of the entire series, and it was a really good way. When I watched it in the Japanese or the subs for the first time, this was a good pump and a good first start to the series, because it had to prove to us and it had to make an impact on the actual anime itself, and be like, this Saitama guy is not a guy to be messed around. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's really it. But obviously at the end, it was just a nightmare. And he gets pissed off, and that was the end of episode 1. So that was really it. Episode 1, that's cool. Now, on to episode 2. Now, all right, before I get into anything about episode 2, I just want to say that Genos's voice, no, I don't like it. Okay, like a lot of you guys are gonna put down in the comment section down below that you're gonna be like, "Oh, Ross, you're so full of shit," and obviously you don't know anything about anime. You don't know anything about voice acting. No, I do not know anything about voice acting. No, yes, I can do impressions, but no, I can't do any voice acting. But I know common sense and psychology when it comes to a physical body and everything like that, or the voice of a person. First off, Genos is 19 years old, and he sounds nothing like a 19-year-old. Fucking hell. I mean, Saitama is 25. His voice is perfect. But Genos, he doesn't even sound like a 19-year-old. It's crazy. Like, I'm 20. I'm 20 years old, and he's got a deeper voice than me. That's like, what? Like, I know some people at that age get really deep voices, but the voice just like, comparing it to the sub or the Japanese version is so much better than the English. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna lie. There were some parts in the episode when I was a bit like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like I'll give this a chance. Like, excuse me. Like, I'm not saying that Genos's voice actor is the worst, because obviously I don't know who's actually voicing him, but I just didn't like Genos's voice acting. That's all I'm saying. But let's get on with the episode itself. Obviously, what happens in this episode, we get the massive Mosquito Invasion. Now, obviously, the Mosquito Invasion with that Mosquito lady who is fighting Genos. Obviously, when Genos gets into the picture of One Punch Man, he comes in, he fights the Mosquito lady, and then Saitama comes in, obviously, because he's chasing another mosquito, and he's obviously fighting and trying to kill that fucking mosquito that he's been fighting for the entire episode. Genos Genos was about to self-destruct when the mosquito layer became too powerful, and then Saitama comes in. Obviously, one slaps her in the face and just disintegrates her, and then Genos is like, "Holy shit! How the fuck did you do that?" And then he was like, "Oh, I just hit him," that sort of thing. And he's like, "What's your name?" I said, "My name's Saitama." He said, like, "May I be your disciple or disciple, whatever you want to call it?" And he's like, "Wait, what?" And that's and then obviously right at the very end of episode 2, you see that obviously that funny scene when Genos he just keeps talking and he's mumbling away, and then obviously Saitama gets impatient and then obviously shouts at him, shorten out the bloody conversation in 20 words or less. And that was sort of shit. That was funny. And then coming up near to the end of episode 2, there was obviously you had that little fight scene with with the lion beast. Yeah, the lion beast and that little raccoon sort of creature. And yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't know why it is like, but the English dub right now is doing quite well with Saitama, even though it's only been 2 episodes in, but it has been doing quite well with the comedy scenes, with the serious scenes, and everything like that. But like apart from all that, it's really cool. Right, now that's the end of episode 2 review and episode 1, obviously. Now let's get down to my personal opinions about Saitama and all the characters around him and everything like that. And what do I think about the voice acting? What do I think about the characters' development in the English dub version? Because obviously that's a lot of things that it's a big thing to me to talk about when it ever comes to voice acting. Because obviously there's a big difference to tell emotionally about someone's voice acting in Japanese and then someone is in English. And I mean, like, I could tell you full well how that person's feeling or talking about if he's talking in Japanese and watching it in subbed. And obviously it may feel slightly different when you're watching and listening from the English dub. Now, let's talk about Saitama's character in Japanese, right? The Japanese version of Saitama is beyond perfect. Now, the reason why I say that is because he generally sounds a blunt, bored, and I don't care attitude, and I'm just a hero for fun, and he just does it, right? The Japanese version of Saitama is it's too difficult to explain of how amazing the voice acting of Saitama is, and it's really interesting to me that the Japanese can sound so much better than the English. I'm not saying that the Japanese is always better than the English, and don't get me wrong, this is my first anime that I'm comparing to the English dub and to the Japanese dub. But let's continue on and let me talk about the English version and what I think about it. Right. There are 2 things about Saitama that I like and I don't like. Well, one thing I like about it and one thing I don't like about it. The one thing I love about Saitama's English voice acting, right? When it's all quiet and he's talking normally, that's absolutely fine. Like, to me, he just sounds bored. He's just like, yeah, I'm just a normal guy, that sort of thing. And when he's in the serious fighting scene, like you saw him in the first episode against the Septurians or the Earthlings, whatever they call them, he was fucking incredible. Good voice acting, really good. He was really into the zone, and he was living the moment of a good fight. Now here comes the bad thing about the English dub, and this is my point that I got off from Geekdom 101, who is a big Dragon Ball fan and a big Dragon Ball YouTuber out there, is that the fact that Saitama sounds too badass. That's the problem. Like, in my opinion, Saitama's voice sounds too badass to sound bored. Because that's the joke. That is the joke of Saitama. Saitama is a bored character. He wants the challenge of a lifetime. He wants to have the fight of a lifetime. He wants to have the drive and the passion of a good fight. That's what he wants, and that's what he is lacking, and that's why he is bored. But the badass tone doesn't really fit. But at the same time, it still works. But I'm not saying it's a really bad thing, but that's really the only thing I don't like about Saitama's English dub voice, right? So, apart from all that, that is really much of what I got to say about Saitama as a character and also about his voice acting and stuff like that. But really, I'll probably get more detail with Genos in the third episode of One Punch Man, because the third episode is going to be the one episode when we hear the Burgundy market supermarket punch, when he gets absolutely pissed off and he kills that beetle monster in one punch, and when he goes all carnage mode and that sort of stuff. That is going to be the episode that I'm really interested in looking for, because I want that voice acting to be spot on in that episode, and I really hope so. Like, obviously, no pressure or anything, but I love voice acting. Voice acting to me is a very, very awesome thing. Like, whenever I watch Death Note, whenever I watch Dragon Ball, whenever I watch Black Butler, even One Punch Man itself. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a game or a live action movie, a live action series, an animated series, cartoons, whatever the hell. I love voice acting. Voice acting is always a thing like, holy shit, this guy's really good. Or this lady is very good. Or that person's very good. Give him a chance. This guy might be able to, make a star of himself and actually make a name for himself and get his name out there and be like, wow, this guy can voice really well. Because that's what I love about anime. That's one of the reasons why I love anime, because of the voice acting. Like, L, the guy who played L was fucking phenomenal. And the guy who played Light, he was even more incredible. The voice acting is amazing. Same goes to the Japanese dub. Japanese dub is always awesome, and so is the English. Obviously, we gotta give Saitama and One Punch Man, the series itself, a chance with the English dub, because obviously there's only been 2 episodes. But that's really been it, ladies and gentlemen. That's been my review of episode 1 and 2, the English dub, and obviously the comparison of the voice actors, the voice acting of Saitama. And I will get more into detail of Saitama, Genos, and everything like that, and all the characters around him for the next few episodes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rusty Pearson here. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please click like and subscribe, and obviously, just pay attention for more videos. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.